Ladies and gentlemen, the biathlon season is right around the corner, so it's time for me to make my annual predictions of athletes who I think are going to be breakout stars this season, and it's time for us to start with Campbell Wight from the USA. Now, I know I picked Campbell to have a breakout season last year, and by all accounts, I think he had a good one, but I think there's way more in the tank for Campbell. After his first full season with the United States, he saw a huge jump in ski speed last year. He was up a full percentage from the year before. Now, things started out a little bit rocky at the beginning of the season for Campbell. He was placing in the 70s, the 80s. He even finished 90th in the very first race of the year. So Campbell took a brief break, a brief recovery, sat out a few World Cups, and came back stronger than ever. After he came back from early January, every single race that he was in, he placed in the top 20 except for 2 of them. He even got a few top 10s, and he had his first World Cup flower ceremony, placing 6th in home snow at Soldier Hollow. So I think if Campbell can continue this great shape, continue this progression, and see another year on the World Cup, I think we can expect to see Campbell knocking on the door of top 10 any day. All right, my next prediction for breakthrough athlete is a little bit of a gamble here, but I'm gonna go with Johan-Olav Botn. Now, this is a name that most people already know, being that he is a great athlete from Norway, but in my opinion, I think Botn could potentially be the second best biathlete in the world, but he just doesn't have the opportunity to prove it. In this past season, he was on the podium in all but 2 of IBU Cup races that he raced, and he was the winner of 7 of those IBU Cup races. Now, because of the absolute domination from the Norwegian men's team, he doesn't have the opportunity to race at the World Cup. Finally got his opportunity to come at the end of the season, where he placed 2 top 5s at the end of the season. But the crazy thing about this is that he did this with bibs number 98 and bib number 100. The snow was completely different. The snow had completely slowed down, and he was still able to post a top 5 ski time and get himself into the flower ceremony. Absolutely insane. If he had an earlier start order, I think there's no question whether or not he would have been on the podium, if not winning the race. But regardless, here's my prediction for what is going to happen. I think Botn is going to be at the very first World Cup, and he's going to have an early opportunity to try to make the World Cup team year-round. Now, there are some new start order rules that are in effect this year, and I'll make a video about that, so hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss that one. But basically what this means is, because Botn did not finish in the top 15 last season, he's going to have a little bit more say in where he can start the race. I think he's going to use this as an advantage to start earlier in the field and have a little bit more of an advantage to set a really good time, and his counterparts behind him aren't going to be able to beat him, and I think he's going to pop a really good one very early in the season, and that's going to solidify him on the team for the rest of the year. Now, granted, with this early season good race, he will then suddenly be in the top 10 overall, and then he will get filtered back with the heroes that are starting in the back of the start list now. I think he has enough talent that he can have just as good a result with anyone in the field. But real quick, before we go any further, I want to thank you all for watching this type of content and helping me grow my YouTube channel to coming up on 5,000 subscribers. I've really enjoyed this whole journey and making the content and talking about my favorite sport, biathlon. But those of you who have been following my channel for the last couple of years know that I like to make different types of content. I have my podcast with my friend Ethan, I have coaching content with Biathlon U, and I even have highly produced biathlon stories of really cool things that have happened in our sport. This year, I decided I'm gonna break apart the channel into 4 separate channels, so that way each style of content has its own home. So if you like this content and you're a biathlon fan, go check out my other channels, and I'll leave a link to them down below. Go subscribe to those other channels so you can get more specific types of biathlon content at those specific channels. But as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, hitting that subscribe button, sharing, saying hi in person. This has just been an unbelievable journey for me, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds for my YouTube channel. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's get back to it. Now, my next pick for Breakthrough Athlete of the Year is going to be Otto Invenius from Finland. Otto is a junior world medalist and earned his first relay medal on the World Cup this year. Otto has been progressing steadily year over year, and even cracked his first top 10 in Anholt's last season. He averages about a top 30 ski time, but he has popped a few top 20 ski times in the past. So look for the 23-year-old to continue his progression and follow in the footsteps of his junior rivals such as Tommaso Giacomelli and Eric Perot. Next up, I think you should be looking at Philipp from Germany. Now, he has had his ups and downs. He's never really had a secure spot on the World Cup because, again, coming from a nation like Germany, you gotta be on all the time. His personal best this season was 4th in Lenzerheide though, so he has been knocking on the door of the podium. His average rank on the IBU Cup against that incredible Norwegian depth has been 5th. So you know that he has the talent and he has the ability to be competing with the best in the world. So if he gets the opportunity to race a full season on the World Cup and he can maintain his place on the World Cup, I think he's gonna easily, steadily rack up points throughout the entire season. And I think we could see him on the cusp of the top 10 overall by the end of the season and potentially even earning a podium or two during the season. All right, now my final pick for Breakthrough Athlete of the Year is gonna go to Didier Bionaz from Italy. Now, not to be overshadowed by his teammate Tommaso Giacomelli, Didier is an incredibly strong biathlete who is capable of cracking the top 10 any day. He started the season really strong. He was averaging in the top 20. Honestly, it was only a matter of time until we were gonna see him in the top 10, potentially even a flowers ceremony. But then it went downhill after Oberhof due to poor shooting to finish out the season. His skiing was great the entire year though. He averaged top 20 ski time throughout the entire year, including frequent top 10 ski times. So if he can get his shooting percentage back up to his career high, I don't see any reason why he can't be a solid number 2 punch for Italy this year. All right, those are my picks for Breakthrough Athletes this year. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Was there anyone that I completely neglected and left off the list? Was there anyone on this list that you think is a completely terrible pick? Let me know, but until next time, we'll see ya.